Hi.
How are you?
Okay.
This crazy week,
Honestly.
pretty good.
How was first class? Well, we were in here for some of it, but
It was good. They just finishing their test. Now I'm like, oh, we have more time. And I'm like, yeah. You have all the time you need, lovely. All the time you need.
I know when you're with so many kids, I remember that,
Yeah.
the delay, and some people just don't show up.
Yeah, that's some of them who haven't been here since Monday.
My God.
yeah.
Where do you
Sorry.
want me to be? Here?
Wherever you want.
Okay,
I tried to set it up
okay.
like last time when I was like, because I'm filming.
Okay, so I'll
If you
put
wanna
it
be
here.
here.
Here,
I think I put the agenda at the top of your inbox.
Okay.
I'll wait for you to open it.
turn this way too, that way I'm not on this side. Oh my God, or I can get stuck in the desk.
In every O3 I've recorded, I just face the camera towards me, so then it looks like me talking the whole time.
Instead of catching both people,
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to do. You need like a tripod to catch
yeah.
more than that.
I know I should do it on the Sydney app.
Whew. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. Does Kayla have access to it though? I guess we could get.
I don't know.
access.
Yeah, she can have my password. Okay. Last week's reteach reassessment. Lincoln went up by 12%. Belmont went up by, was it 17%?
That's great.
For the selecting evidence. What do you think you did that contributed to that? Your reteach on Friday.
For last Monday?
Yeah. For the selecting evidence where you did the show call. I didn't watch it, but
They really did have.
your data from last week? This was what was on your chart.
Yeah, the red. Maybe I didn't say it, explain it right. Remember when I was talking to you? Remember when I was like, they all went down?
What did I pull this from then?
I don't know.
Oh, well then,
They were struggling with selecting
50,
evidence.
72, and 46. Yes. No, your first number is right. Your second number. Oh, I know why you put that. That is from the skill builder.
this one that I have.
The green. Yeah,
Oh.
it's from the skill builder.
Well, what do you think happened in the,
I know exactly what happened.
Mhm.
I know exactly why it went down. I told them, look on page 164 to 172.
oh, you told me that, and they looked at the first page.
And everybody looked at page 165. What do you need help with, hon? Somebody probably took it in there for you.
Did you readdress in the next classes, or did you not notice that till the end?
I didn't notice it until the end,
Yeah,
so I wasn't able to readjust in the moment. But I talked to everybody about it on Monday because I was like, there's no reason why when I say everybody's data went down,
Mhm.
everybody's data went down. I'm
So they
sorry
all
for
picked evidence
confusing
from the
you.
first
No, it's okay.
Page or two.
Yeah, they all picked evidence from page 165. And the evidence was, no jokes, Miguel. I need to work so I can get Abuelita to mama. That does not show me that she's determined.
yeah.
It just show me that she wants to work.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I didn't screw up the whole thing that you planned on doing today.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
We can go back. That's like the skill that they practice every day in the lesson, so I'm sure they're getting multiple at-bats at it, but
Yeah.
sorry that I had that wrong.
It's okay. I was like, they went up 17 points. What you talking about?
Well, it looks like they
I
did
think when you
decent
like
on
get
the skill
excited, but
build.
then you're like, nah, I know this is wrong.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
they
should have just
did
gone
pretty
along
good.
with it.
I should have, but I was like, I don't know. I want to be honest. I can't help it.
I know you never talking about Monday's lesson. I told you to pause on the no-show chart because like we've been doing lots of student ideas, and so we're gonna focus on like a writing skill.
Okay.
That's the standard that we chose. Produce clear and coherent writing in which development, organization, style are appropriate, but focusing just on claim.
Okay.
So instead of no-show chart, we're gonna build a CFS for writing a claim. So
Gotcha.
next to your initials, if you'll just take 2 minutes and write your CFS for a strong claim, and then we'll compare ours.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
And you finish before 10 minutes, you can tell me.
Pretty sure I'm done. Let me double check. Yeah.
Okay, this one in the comment is, and I stole this from Emily. Restates the question in complete sentence, which you also have on yours.
Mhm.
Has a because statement.
I was thinking about adding like, when I write answers the prompt in
Mhm.
parentheses, I was gonna say like gives a reason or
Yeah,
says because.
rationale. I know. I was like, oh, just because work all the time, but
Yeah,
so maybe we could
It works
we
most of
could
the time.
we could reword that one if we want to say like
Gives
gives
a reason.
rationale. But I think for fifth graders, sometimes saying like has a because statement, if it works 90% of the time, it might work for us.
Mm.
Give them that.
reasoning is in your own words. Reasoning is defensible and then answers all parts of the question. So to stamp moving forward. What are the 3 things that you want to keep in CFS?
I feel like you need to take all of it.
Definitely restate the prompt. We can add the has a because statement
Mhm.
or / reason. And then I would say answers all part of the question.
And then I would keep yours written in complete sentences.
Oh, yes.
I like that. I think the reasoning is defensible can be for like as they get older.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. I have ECUs up on my computer.
Mhm.
If you want to look at, and I'll send this to you. If you'll find a student exemplar
Mhm.
and then measure it against the CFS that we stamped.
Okay.
See if there's any gaps or if it actually does meet the exemplar. There you go, it should be in your inbox.
That a PP? Oh, that's good.
Which one are you looking at?
I'm talking about an email notification. All right, I found an exemplar.
Okay, who are you looking at?
Dariana. This is the third one.
I might want to be friends with Esperanza.
Because she is caring about her community and is not afraid of challenges that face her. This is why I would want to be friends with Esperanza. I always tell them to explain, but she's probably like, I can explain it, but
Okay, so measured against the CFS, does she restate the prompt?
yes,
Does she have rationale?
yes,
Answer all parts of the question?
yes,
And written in complete sentences?
yes.
Okay, now we're gonna do work sort of the other ones to figure out what the gap is. Not high, medium, and low. Let's just do met it or didn't meet it. And you're probably just gonna have to tally. Since it's on the computer.
Can you grab my purple pen? Yep. Thank you.
And we can go through them together if you want.
Okay. I would say not met because she starts with a question word. But, well, no, I should just keep it going.
Yeah.
Not met. Okay. And Aaliyah, I might want to be from this one because she is very kind and lovely, but also because she doesn't give up and never leaves things behind. Oh. We already said Diane. I want to be friends with. That's right, so she wrote it, but he writes it. Because she is.
A butt. I was like,
butt.
or a stray up.
Oh.
I would say no for.
It has to be no, because I'm like, but she did the other thing. It's okay.
I always see that, and I'm like,
I'll keep the CFS up on mine so you can look at it.
Okay. I want. Okay. No. I want to be Esperanza's friend because when she is. Why might you want to be a friend with Esperanza? I feel like I should take that for Restates the Prom. Because when she is determined to do something, she does it with no hesitation. Good. You're great. You are great. She also never gives up. And overall, she is just a good friend and family member. Why she didn't make that a combo?
I know.
It's meant though.
Yeah, the first sentence was good.
Okay. Why am I? No. I might want to be friends with Esperanza because she is nice to people and kind and that she never give up. It's a run on.
I can't wait till I get to there's a kid in there that says something like, but I don't want to be, or something like that. Like his just honesty comes out. And then he tries to answer it after. I think it's easy.
Restates the prompt, has a because statement, answers all part of the question. It's a run-on sentence.
I give him a no then.
Oh, what was this? Anderson. Oh.
Why?
No. Yeah. Yes, that's why I said so. Wait, no, he says people want to be friends with Esperanza because she is nice and she cares about.
I'd say no.
Yeah. He's got better though.
Mm-hmm. He wrote his name as Esperanza. That's how I
Why
wrote
did he
that on
do
there.
that?
That's the kid I think that gets snarky, right?
Me personally.
Me personally, I wouldn't. So
But I know, then he goes back and tries to answer it. And I was like, this is a kid I should meet.
I would want to be Esperanza friend because she is not mean and because she has a good, probably gonna say personality.
Yeah.
Okay, but if we go, wait.
I know, because that one threw me
So
off.
is it a no? Because he starts with me personally, I wouldn't.
I'd put no too, because he also does like a run on at the end.
But kudos for making me laugh.
I mean, he
while we
could
went
have
through
just
it.
said no. It's okay if you don't want to be. I told them it
Well,
was
the
their
question doesn't
opinion.
ask if you want to be
Yeah,
or not, it just
why would
says,
you
why
want?
might you want to be?
This is true. This is true.
But
So he
technically,
did
if
right,
if
'cause he
gave
was
us a
like, no.
reason, no, maybe we could have taken it.
Oh no, we said not man. I definitely said no.
Let's do like 3 more.
Okay. I would be friends with Esperanza because she gives a example about never giving up or let dreams or what? The hard stuff during her life. Never give up on
Her dreams.
what is
On.
oh her dreams or the hard stuff during her life. Okay, yes. I don't know because she speaks Spanish and she's a girl.
Yeah.
No, no. I think I would want to be friends with Esperanza because she's nice. Her stories are good and she doesn't give up. And that's traits that can make a good friend.
And he's
Yes.
good comments. Okay, let's pause right there and keep moving. What do you think the key gaps are between the exemplar Dariana's versus everybody else's? Like, why did most of them not meet the CFS?
They either weren't answering the prompt or they started their claim with a question word.
So if you're using language from CFS, what do you think would be like the key areas for each teacher if you had to pick one of those?
Restates the prompt. I want to say has a because statement, but some of them had because statements, but they just weren't answering the first part of the
Yeah, I think
question.
they all had reasoning.
Yeah, so then I would say answers all parts of the question. But then I feel like they're answering.
I think they are doing that for this one. You said your first two things were restating the prompt and then writing incomplete sentences. So which gap did you see the most?
Oh,
Or do you set a because statement? I don't know. I got lost.
I think they had reasoning, they just all didn't say because.
yeah, so they have reasoning.
Yeah.
They just were like because she speaks Spanish and she's a girl, this is not telling me anything.
Yeah.
But I think restating the prompt would be like the highest leverage to reteach. But well, writing incomplete sentences is also important.
I think you actually had more students not do this when you were doing met and not met, not writing complete sentences.
The thing I'm thinking about is for restating the prompt, I actually think the kids that made a mistake by starting with the question word were trying to restate the prompt. I think
Yes.
they just got confused about like whether or not that's acceptable. Like a lot of the kids that started with why, I think they were trying to restate the prompt, but they're getting stuck.
Yeah, they're like just trying to steal the words instead of like actually thinking about.
Which words to actually
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think let's do the key area to reteach is write incomplete sentences
Okay.
or like write a claim in complete sentences. A complete sentence.
Although I wouldn't be completely opposed if you wanted to tag on, like, either, did we talk about tagging on the because statement too?
Yeah, let's do write a coherent claim since that's the standard. And then Tamika, you come up with student action steps. So students will be able to write a coherent claim by doing what?
Restating the question or prompt
Mm-hmm.
and using a because statement or providing rationale.
Mm-hmm.
Providing
And
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wonder if instead of restating the prompt, it's the complete sentence thing.
so they'll write
Or
a
it's
coherent
both.
claim by
Restating
writing
the
a complete
prompt.
sentence.
Or like restating the prompt in a complete sentence and including a because statement.
yeah, so I think you've hit restating the prompt enough to where you're still gonna tell them to do that, but this is just focus on what the main gap is that you saw. So they're writing the coherent claim. Yes, they're gonna restate the question, but what are the things that you saw that were missing that you're gonna hit home in the reteach?
Hi, hon. So writing a complete sentence.
Yeah.
What do we come to? Will you say it back to me, Aubrey? I feel like I got lost.
Students will be able to write a coherent claim by writing in a complete sentence. And then more specifically, like the kids that didn't write in a complete sentence, what did they do instead?
They wrote run-on sentences.
And some of them, like, I feel like 3 or 4 students, you also were like, not a complete sentence because it started with
A question
word.
word. Got you. Okay, so by not using question words to start
Mhm.
and
And then the complete sentence covers run on. I think they know that by now. There's some of them are not doing it.
I would hope so, because the amount of times we talked about it, it's very disheartening.
So student action step, students will be able to write a coherent claim by writing in a complete sentence and providing rationale using a because statement.
Yes,
How does that sound?
good.
Okay. Before moving on, how are you going to check that kids are doing this? Like, what is going to make it quick for you to check as you're going around? I guess is what I'm asking.
The first time I go around, I'm just gonna be looking to see like, does your sentence start with who, what, when, where, or why?
Mm-hmm.
If it does, give them a little X feedback.
Mm-hmm.
That means you first key point, you need to go back and fix it so that you're meeting the first key point. And
Let me rephrase my question because I think I'm moving ahead too much. How are they going to check for themselves? How are you going to make sure like they check against the CFS? What could you have them do?
oh, we could name the question word that's in the prompt as a class, and then I want them to make sure they start their claim without using that word.
Okay, so like marking it out.
Mhm.
And then I also put like for themselves underlining their because statement. just for their own sake of checking.
Like, oh, after they write it out.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Okay.
How do you
Should
feel
we
about
just
that,
not-
Emily?
Are we past the part where, like, this is what kids are gonna do while they're working, but did we stamp what we're gonna put in front of kids to start?
Not yet, no.
Okay, all right, sorry.
We're just in the student action step.
Got
So
it.
the write a coherent claim, writing a complete sentence, no question words to start, providing rationale, using a because statement. And then I'm just thinking like checking work against CFS
Mhm.
by, do you want them to mark out the question word?
Mm-hmm. And underlining every test payment.
I just wanted to put a step in there where they're also responsible for checking
like that.
themselves.
Okay.
And then you did have over 30%. I feel like you had like 50% around. So modeling or guided discourse, which is the way you're gonna go, or what are you thinking for reteach?
I want to do a model. I always want to do a model, but I don't remember. I honestly don't remember what the numbers.
Is
the
if you
numbers
have
go with,
30% or more, technically you're gonna do guided discourse. I actually think your strength is in the show calling
but-
or like the side by side, like you did last time.
Okay.
Would you want to do that?
Those.
Mhm. Would you want to do that to start this reteach as well?
Yes.
Okay, and then what are the two pieces of student work you're gonna pull?
Dariana's.
Okay, Dariana,
And we can pull somebody who didn't answer the question.
I was gonna say, I would pull someone who started with the why, and then like, is there anyone who didn't do the because? I wonder if I would put 3 for this one and just say like student A, B, and C,
mm-hmm.
which one is strongest and why?
So Dariana exemplar versus someone who started with Y.
Okay, she does this person doesn't have a why. I mean, it doesn't have a because, but she tells us why. She
Mhm.
says, why might I want to be friends with Esperanza would be she's changed throughout the whole book, but she also learned to not be scared to start over.
I think that's fine though, because that's gonna,
She should have said it. But it's a
Someone without
so
because,
Kelly.
and who's the one that doesn't have the Y?
no, she has the why. It might just be smart to do those too. I think a lot of kids did have a because statement.
Yeah, in ECU for sure. Nah, we talking about
Oh,
other
because
classes?
there's two misconceptions in that. That's why you're saying only do two. I got you.
But we could do 3. I mean, we could just make one up that doesn't have a because statement,
You could make one up that just says, I would
Kelly's
want to
no,
be friends
Kelly's
with
doesn't have a
Esperanza.
because statement.
but
It's-
it's still right. I don't think she
oh, that's
needs
what
the
you're looking
because
for.
statement,
Gotcha.
right?
Do you want to just
Yeah,
make
that's
up
what I
one?
was saying
thinking,
before.
well,
It's not
I'm
always gonna
wondering,
be
like,
because.
If people, right, if people, or like one that just doesn't have rationale
Like, did you have any in your other classes that said, I would want to be friends with Esperanza?
and nothing else.
They're gone. I probably did, but they're gone.
But we could just make it up.
Yeah.
I would just do that.
I think you could just
Okay.
type them like side by side. You don't have to actually show their work, you know?
Yeah, oh, I always just type it up
Yeah.
anyways,
Right.
because everybody can't read it. But everybody else is reading.
Oh, thanks, Emily, for making that chart.
Why I would be friends with Esperanza is because, she says because too.
So you'll have show,
Okay, I can just make that up.
yeah, you'll have show called Dariana's,
Mhm.
Kelly's that starts with Y, and then one that just said, I would want to be friends with Esperanza. So underneath the chart that Emily's making,
Mhm.
will you script out, just take 2 minutes, script your questioning for your show call? And then we'll talk about what to do after that.
Right underneath, you said right here, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
Are we listening at work? Do you wanna put the things in there?
Yeah.
That way you can just like grab it from here after.
What am I saying? Never mind. I wasn't really asking if like I was asking myself.
Yep. Mhm.
I'm planning out my script for what I'm going to say to the students when I'm
Just for the
presenting
show
it.
call, yeah.
Just for the show call.
So it doesn't have to be super extensive or anything.
Got it.
And remember, you're trying to get them to arrive at the CFS themselves. So you want them to identify, yes, the strongest one, but why the other two are not strongest.
Okay. Or
Yeah, I think there's potential for you to ask the first question and get, if you just let kids build on each other, you're gonna get all of the answers that you want. And then all the questions after that are just like your back pocket questions for if students aren't arriving at the CFS.
Yeah, I
Does that
was
make
thinking
sense?
about the guided discourse example that we looked at in PD, or I can't remember if it was IR or PD. And I almost put the link in because I feel like your questions are right. And I think the part that I would potentially push you on is thinking about like which kids you can call on for which questions, and like or like what do you anticipate kids saying? I'm gonna put it in right above this chart, Tamika, and see if you can click the link. Okay, so above the chart, it says guided discourse. If you click that link and go to,
I don't have access.
oh Lord, well, I will give you access. Did I share the right? Yeah, I shared the right.
Like if a kid said B is strong because it's longer, what would you draw their attention back to make sure they're using the right language that you want them to use to answer this question?
I would say pay attention to how the claim starts for student B.
Mm-hmm.
Should your claim start like that?
Mm-hmm.
More? Say more? Oh, that's all I'm
No.
thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good because you want them to say it starts with a question word or it's
Right.
not a complete sentence.
So what do you want me to do with this?
I think I sent the wrong one. Which one do you have a picture of a kid with the playground at the bottom or no?
No.
No, I sent the. All right, here, I'm just gonna give you this. Now, I don't know if you need like all of it, but I think, so this is the same, Lord help me. This is the same where there's like two examples and then go down here. When you take a look at this script, what might you think about or add to help your script and or like push your thinking around like getting like a multiple levels of kids involved in the chart year?
Oh, I guess I would just decide who I'm gonna call on.
Like maybe thinking about cold calling, like a student who could give you the answer, but then cold calling on a student who maybe is a little more advanced to get like to build on the why behind it.
So I need to be thinking about that as I'm writing out my questions, or is it okay for me to write out my questions and then?
Write out your questions and then do that.
Okay, yeah, I think that would have been next step, like a natural next step that I might have taken. Do it now?
Yeah,
Okay.
you got it.
I was like, did they right now? Oh, no, I don't know what I just did.
What do you think like a medium answer would be to the first question? Which claim is stronger and why?
A medium answer?
Like someone who's almost there.
I think they would say student A.
Or even someone who has the right answer but can't explain why. Is what I'm thinking for student A to start.
They'll probably say something like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Like they
I
might
think
give you
they'd
half of your
say-
CFS. So they might say like
Student A because it restates the prompt.
or maybe even say like they might say student C is right because she gives a reason, but they're missing like she gives a reason and it's a complete sentence.
Got you. I get what you're saying.
And then
Okay.
calling on someone else who's like, and then that might be where you ask like, why else is C stronger than B and A?
Yeah, I'm toying with the idea of like, I don't know if I would ask what each claim does well. I think I would try to go from like, which claim is the strongest? And stamping the why to like, I like your last question a lot. This is like, what does claim C do that A doesn't? Or like, what is A missing? What is B missing? And then kind of pivoting to like stamping a key point. I think you might confuse kids if you highlight something that each of them does well. But I could be wrong.
I see what you're trying to get at. Like you're trying to get them to say like, oh, it restates the prompt, or you're trying to notice, but I don't even think you need that because I think you'll get where you need to go with, yeah, your first question and last one. And I'll make pacing go faster.
I'm just wondering, yeah, in my head, I'm like with a guided discourse like this, I feel like you want to kind of get kids to the right answer and spend them quickly, but then spend the bulk of your time unpacking the why.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
And I think we didn't write this, but I'm in the wrong spot. Like calling on a medium student here or an almost there student, and then an exemplar student, like someone who would like Dariana to stamp it.
Oh, I went to a completely
No.
different class.
You can write student names if you want, that's fine.
So let's take a ECU. And then my medium student. And then, even though Kelly's isn't fully correct, she would be able to stamp it as a high student. Do I need to ask a medium, a low, and a high?
Sometimes I like if a low student has the right answer circled, sometimes I like to cold call my low baby to be like, which one is the strongest if they have C, and just have them stamp C and then go to your medium to give like the first level of, okay, why is C the strongest, Anderson? Okay, Kelly, can you build on what Anderson just said so that like you're kind of bringing their voice in? I don't know if that's helpful.
And then I think the last question that you would ask them after this discussion is just like, in order for us to write a strong claim, we need to, and have them name it. And you want them to name complete sentence, has a reason, restates the prompt.
You just say with a like a low student that has it right. Don't feel like you have to do a name if you don't want to.
I wasn't gonna be able to move forward.
If you didn't, yeah.
And then just after your what does claim C do that claim A and B don't, have students stamp like the 3 things needed for an accurate claim. Okay, after this, you need to give them an opportunity to practice, but then also a cold opportunity where you're not giving them feedback to assess new mastery. So we were thinking, since this is an opinion question, to stick with that so you're not really focused on like the content of their answer, but how it's written. So for practice, one of the questions that we came up with that you could ask would be, would Esperanza and Augie be friends? And it's not a why question, so that would force them to have to name the reason. And then we need another question for,
Would they be friends?
Mhm.
But it
I'm
doesn't-
interested to see what kids, I mean, you could ask any type of question.
yeah,
like
you
that.
don't have to
More
ask
just to
that.
think of questions where kids didn't have to have evidence. They could kind of just like build from what they already know in your class. I
Mhm.
mean,
And there's no like right or wrong answer, because
you
you're
could
just
say,
looking at
would
how
you
they were.
rather be friends with Esperanza or Augie?
Mhm.
Or would you rather, I don't know. I think any question like that where it's like not necessarily a why, so it's a little bit different. So that you could assess the two pieces that you're going after. I'd almost give them one like guided practice at bat with a question like that, and then like almost like an exit ticket where they do it on
Yeah.
their own.
What do you want your practice question to be, where you're going around and giving rapid feedback?
I like, would you rather be friends with August or Esperanza?
Because what other characters? You can pick one from the Jason Reynolds book too if you want to.
Ah,
I don't know. If
They're gonna remember them.
so many characters.
All the names too, like Scooter and whatever. Yeah.
Okay, that'll be your practice one. And then before we get to the X ticket one, how are you going around and giving feedback? On the three
first
things in
loop,
your
I'm gonna go
CFS.
around and look for that question word.
Mhm.
So there should be, so the first word should not be would, because it could say I would,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm,
but it should not be would.
mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna look for the question word. What's the rest of my CFS?
It also can't just be, I think the other gap you might see here is it also can't just be Augie because,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like
Right.
they need to explain, or Esperanza because, right? Like I would rather be friends with Esperanza or Augie because. So I think that might be a thing that you can see if kids fall into that trap.
Yeah, because then they're not restating the prompt, or it's not in a complete sentence.
And then I'm looking for a because statement.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay, and then your second question that you give them will be like their rewritten exit ticket. So this is the one where you're going around looking, but not giving feedback, because this is the one where you're testing to see if they can do it completely independently.
Let's ask them something about Miguel.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking, like, should Esperanza marry Miguel when she gets older?
They're gonna be like, no. Or we could say, would Esperanza marry Miguel? Because I think that they would say, I don't know if they're gonna say that she should, but I think they'll be more inclined to
Or
like,
why might like do the same. You could do the same type
why
of
might Esperanza marry
prompt.
Miguel?
Why might Esperanza marry Miguel?
Mm-hmm. You wanna do that one?
They're gonna be like, because he brought back Cabalita?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then you're putting the why question back in there after giving them a little break. So you can test if they've really latched on to like not saying why.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so that'll be your reassessment data as their answer to that question.
Okay.
Be sure that you're not focused on like you don't really care what they say.
I don't.
You're just
Yeah.
focused on
Who cares
solely
the
your
reason?
CFS.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
So if their reason is wrong, it doesn't matter, and that'll be reassessment data. So your action step, let me see if I need to, no, I think this is still fine. You'll reteach how to write a coherent claim by creating a CFS for a coherent claim, which you've done, implementing a show call, leading guided discourse, giving students 2 at-bats at writing claims, and then circulating during first at-bat to get rapid feedback using the feedback system you determine.
I think this will be a simple reteach to see how they latch onto it.
Yeah. Wait, you want to practice really quick? Then I have a couple minutes. I'll pass out work for you when you go get them.
No, I have to go to recess. So I never work to pass out,
Okay. Are they gonna be here for recess?
unfortunately.
All right, whenever you're ready, go take your position.
I just want to go in here.
Don't put out
She never
reteach.
takes her computer. So
I
she's like,
don't.
I'm like that too, though. Good.
But now I feel like my questions, I need to remember my questions. Okay,
do you want your computer at least for the 3 student work or no? It's fine if you don't. Go ahead.
I do. Exactly.
So you know what you're showing.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get this show on the road. So you've had 3 minutes to decide which claim you think is stronger. Before we dive into our discussion, can I have a teammate just go ahead and read our question for us so we have that at the front of our mind?
Why might you want to be friends with Esperanza?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Aubrey. So we have 3 claims. Which one do you think is stronger and why? Alex, what did you say?
I think C is strongest.
All right. Anderson, why might he have chosen C?
Because he restates the prompt.
Kelly, build on that.
He restates the prompt and it's a complete sentence. The other 2 aren't a complete sentence. And gives a because statement.
I was like, what? They are complete sentences. Well, number 2. B, but okay.
Yeah, B.
Okay, Kelly, say that one more time, please.
It's stronger because I agree with Alex. C restates the prompt. But it's also in a complete sentence and B wasn't in a complete sentence.
Okay. Let's. Now I said stamp it. Let's go ahead and stamp the right answer.
And you could say like, in order to write a strong claim, we need to.
But it is. Okay, hold on. Okay, so C is the correct answer. So if you chose C, that is the stronger one. That is the stronger claim. Now, like Anderson said, it has a complete sentence. And like Kelly said, it restates the question. But there's something else that claim C does that claim A does not do.
Yeah, that's
Try to
right.
talk with your partner.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you notice that claim C does that claim A does not do? Y'all talk. I circulated. Tiana, what did you tell your partner that you noticed from claim C that claim A does not have?
C told us why. Like it gave us the reason.
Right. So based on no, say that again, Tiana. C told us what?
C told us why. It gave us a reason.
Can I have a teammate revoice that?
C gave us a reason why she wants to be friends with Esperanza.
One more. Tell me, teammate revoice that.
C gave us a reason why she wanted to be friends with Esperanza.
Great. Now, what 3 things need to be true when we are writing a claim?
Has to be in complete sentences.
That's 1. Let's write it down.
Has to
2.
restate the prompt.
That's 2. Write it down.
And has to give us a reason.
Good. Write it down. These are the 3 things that you must do anytime that we're answering a claim, or excuse me, anytime that we're writing a claim in response to a prompt. You are about to do some independent practice. You have a new prompt. I want you to answer the question using our 3 steps. Before we get started, and have a teammate read over our 3 steps loud and proud for us. Go.
Yeah. Pretend I read it.
Okay, y'all read it. Great work. They're working. I'm walking up. That is deleted. Oh, I'm walking around. X, check, 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 check. I'm inviting you to know for everybody in the yellow row because they underline their because statement. Make sure you're doing that if you have it. Can I do a show call?
Sure.
Yeah. You want?
Especially if you see a gap, I would say, like, if they're restating, if one of those pieces is missing on a lot of kids' papers, then I would pull either the error up on the board and say, we're all doing this. What does this student need to do differently? Everybody revise, or a student that did it right and say, like, look at Kelly's paper. What is she doing that's strong? Everybody needs to go back and do this. Because I think that middle round practice is like your opportunity to zoom in one last time before you get them to try it on their egg.
And when you're doing it, like make them use the language from the 3 steps.
Yep.
Like which of the 3 steps are they missing?
I think that's smart.
Got it. Okay. So I'm gonna look for a show call to do in that moment. Let's pretend somebody said I would rather be friends with August. Period. Right? I put that up here. Let's give this teammate some feedback. I'm noticing that a couple of us are making the same mistake. First, tell me, what did they do well?
It's in a complete sentence.
Yes, it's a complete sentence. What else did they do well?
It does restate the prompt,
Yes, it restates the prompt. What are they missing?
for a reason.
Yes, okay. Double check your claim right now. Take 10 seconds, read your claim. If you don't have a reason, you need to go back, revise, make sure you have a reason. I'm gonna be coming around to make sure everybody has a reason. Okay, everybody has a reason. Go ahead, continue. Let's pretend that that worked. It will work. And then, exit ticket time.
Yep.
Really?
Cool. Good. Okay. How'd that feel?
It felt good. Am I doing this tomorrow?
You
Yes,
feel fine to do it tomorrow?
yes,
Were you planning on pushing today's lesson to tomorrow?
yes.
Yeah. Do you have another day that you
But-
could do the skill building and reteach?
Just the next Friday. So like even when how I missed I technically missed Skill Builder 2,
Mm-hmm.
but I did that Skill Builder last Friday. And then I plan to do Skill Builder 3 this Friday. So I can still,
I just want you
So-
to close the gap.
On the end of.
Yeah, just quick so they don't forget about it. And then if you do this first, when they're writing claims in their next upcoming lessons, then they
which will
can
be
do,
our essay.
yeah, then they can use this feedback. So that's why I'm like, I feel like you should do this first because then it'll set them up for the essay, like their thesis and their body paragraph. What's it called?
Cause is
Topic
tomorrow
sentence?
finishing unit tests, or is it a different lesson?
Tomorrow was gonna be Skill Builder. I was gonna do Skill Builder and then start the articles for the test. So since while you're both here, let's talk about it.
Mhm.
What should I do? Because
I think
we
if
were
you're gonna
already
do,
gonna be behind
Yep.
anyways, and I was gonna have them do their outlines on Monday, just go ahead and do the final draft on Tuesday, which
What
is
if you
not
do-
ideal, but like, that's what they're gonna have to do when they get the team ready.
why
So-
don't you have them, well, either that or maybe you have them write their essay using just one of the texts.
Or what if
instead of
tomorrow-
doing both of them,
Maybe
I
you
kinda want to skip them to
Cause
get
you know,
the
I'm gonna say
skill.
the one I like better is Jessie, but I think they should skip.
No, but I like that one better. I think it has more, like, there's more evidence for them to choose. And Jesse to like explain why a farm worker's life is hard.
I'm looking right
What
now.
if